The customer will then come back, but the customer will only check this functional requirement. Each individual may have different preferences of this, but you know what? They can all satisfy that. Because what I do is I don't sell the whole configuration, I sell modules. So it's up to what you want to do. A customer A wants to have a mouse. Okay, buy the same thing. Buy this, put a mouse. A customer B may want to have a trackball. Okay, buy the same thing, put a trackball the way you want it. If you decide to change your mind from trackball to mouse, you will do it yourself. You don't have to buy another one. The beauty of this is because you have designed to completely satisfy functional requirement, if you do everything correct, okay? If you didn't do right, then it's a different thing. If you do everything correct, you should then completely satisfy all the functional requirements. All the customer needs. You say, well, I have one customer who wants to have a mouse to be black. You don't have a black there. Well, that's not a fair question because you didn't tell me at the beginning you want a black. You see the point? If you really have a customer who, for some reason, wants a black mouse, then you should say here as a black. Then I will give you black. But you didn't tell me at the end, when I designed these things there, you say, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you I need a black. Too bad. I don't have black. Got it? So if you need to add one more thing, black, then I would end up designing these things differently. Maybe I have one module called shield. I can shield this in different color. Okay? Any other questions?
Excuse me, Professor Liu. I'm Yan Yan from PKU, and I have a question. We can see that these mouses or trackballs all shared in one functional requirements. Can we say this is an innovation? Because I wonder that only a new discovery of an idea or thought can called innovation. And this can also called innovation.
Right. As a matter of fact, what you describe a new idea can only be called innovation is incorrect. In our definition, a discovery is invention. It's not innovation. Okay? You remember at the very beginning, we have described the difference between what is an invention, what is innovation. This course do not teach you about invention. Now, an innovation may require some new invention, but an invention do not equal to innovation. The main difference is innovation is always driven by what customer needs. Innovation is always driven by the functional requirement. Discovery is driven by what? Discovery is driven by curiosity. Remember we said the mother of invention is what? Curiosity, right? So I would discover something because I'm curious. I want to see what is possible. And only after I discover that, I will see who wants it. And some of this discovery can have a very fundamental impact and generate a lot of wants. Say, for example, I suddenly discover, well, not suddenly, I discovered a superconductive material. Then I end up with a lot of applications which people can use. But there's a lot of discovery which are useless. Remember, in the beginning of the class, we show you some example called useless invention. There's a lot of inventions which are useless. Why? Because it is out of the curiosity, but it was not driven by customer needs. So the main difference that we talk about here as innovative idea is because it is always start from CN, which is different. Okay? We will not do invention. We will not do innovation if we do not have a customer need to drive this. Therefore, back to your course project, the customer needs is to have a better college life. The customer need is to redesign the campus so the student life can be easier, better, greener. That's the customer need. Therefore, we do not want you to go to invent simply out of curiosity. This has to be driven by customer need, which in turn driven the functional requirement, then you end up with the design. So this may not be a discovery, because nothing I discover here is new physics, right? It's a very simple physics. This is not a new invention per se, but this is an innovative product because it satisfies the customer need in a different way, in a novel way. By the way, we filed a patent for these things. A lot of time people are confused that you only have an invention, you get a patent. No, a lot of innovation has a patent too. Okay? So the difference between invention and innovation is critical, and the main difference is, are you driven by customer need, or are you driven by curiosity of your own? That's the difference. Okay? And this course teaches you innovation, therefore always has to be driven by customer need. Yes, please. If there's a from KAIST, yeah, go ahead.
My question is, you said that curiosity, but sometimes, sometimes you need to discover the potential customer needs. Based on the potential customer needs, that you come up with a new innovation and also new invention.
Well,
so,
as I said,
out of curiosity. So out of curiosity, you discover new potential customer needs that's hidden, right?
Okay. If you discover potential customer need which is hidden, to me that's innovation, because you are focusing on customer. If you focus on yourself, that I'm just interested in physics, I'm interested in material, therefore I want to discover whether I can put different polymer structure together, that's invention. That's invention. Invention discover new possibility. Innovation try to have new application. Right? So one is externally focused, focusing on customer. What do you need? The other one is internally driven. What am I interested in? That's the difference. Any other questions? Kevin?
This is Kelvin from USC. Don't you think that restricting your thinking to functional requirements limits your innovative ability? Because a lot of innovation comes from changing, deleting, or adding functional requirements.
Oh, very good question. The question is, if I only limit my innovation to new functional requirement, am I limited my opportunity for innovation? Because a lot of innovation are simply adding a little bit new function or tweaking the function. We call incremental improvement. Okay. What I described to you, the functional thinking, applies equally well to incremental improvement. For example, now I want to look at this chair. This chair has already existed. And I talked to a customer, and customer told me, this chair, I don't feel comfortable in the back. So I have a customer need. What I would do is, in order to improve this chair, I don't automatically go there to add a back. Or because customer said the back is not comfortable, let me go to redesign the back. No, you don't do that. Instead, you will then ask yourself a question, what is the functional requirement for the back to be comfortable? You see that? And it turns out that maybe the way. Can I move the chair up here? You can see. Okay. So one way is you change the back. Okay? Maybe there's a better way so for you to sit. So there's a new chair now. They have a slope. So the front is actually higher. Nothing to do with the back. The same back will do. And you will find out now there a chair which has a button here which will tell the button rather than tell the back. You see that difference? So in order to innovate this kind of new mechanism, you also need to think about function. That is, you need to think about what functional requirements I need to support the back. Instead of thinking about the noun, which is the back. Because typically, the designer will say, okay, I have a chair, my customer don't like this chair, therefore, I'm going to redesign the back. I'm sorry. The customer don't like this chair because the back is not comfortable. Therefore, I'm going to go back to design the back. No. Why? Because the other company do the same thing. Because they didn't take this course. They will do the same thing. They will go to design the back. You don't want to go to design the back. Instead, you will say, what does it take for the back to be comfortable? Because that's what really customer complain, right? So you want to listen to the customer carefully, and you want to understand what's the functional requirement of what they're complaining about. You don't want to tie it up with this noun, which is the back. And it turns out the solution has nothing to do with the back. The solution has something to do with the flat surface. Understand that? So what Kevin asked is, if I'm focusing on functional requirement thinking, am I limited the innovation possibility? The answer is no. Because the functional thinking applies to any kind of artifact, applies any kind of innovation opportunity. It can be original innovation. It can also be a gradual refinement of existing thing. The only thing that is different of these two cases, original one versus the refinement one, is the level of differences. For example, if you say, I already have a chair and my back is not comfortable, most likely I'm going to give you a new chair, still a chair, that make your back comfortable. But if you don't even have a chair, you will say, I want to have something to rest comfortably. I may not give you a chair. I may give you a ball. I may give you a block. I may give you something else. That's the only difference. Okay? So what I'm telling you here, the functional thinking is regardless whether you're doing incremental innovation or doing a complete new innovation. Okay? Other questions?
I have a question. It's Echo from PKU. There's a saying that a good salesman is who can sell a refrigerator to the Eskimo. So for some companies, their marketing strategy is to create the functional requirements. So do you think there is a controversy between our existing marketing strategy and the R&D strategy?
Well, I'm not an expert in marketing, so I can only tell you my opinion, okay? I believe what marketing ought to do is to convince people the functional requirements, which are the wants, it's actually the customer need. In other words, people want something. You want them to believe they actually need it. It's not what they wanted. Like women go to buy a very expensive bag, Louis Vuitton bag. You ask them, every woman will tell you they need a Louis Vuitton bag. Do they really need it? No, they want it. But they say they need it. So a marketing challenge is, how do you convince people that the want is what you need? Okay? Now, in engineering law, the wants has to be described as functional requirements. Okay? So when you design something, you will come up with new functional requirement because it is a new functional requirement that will give you new features, right? And those functional requirements are so new, you cannot find it on the market. Then the marketing people, once you build this, the marketing people have to go to people and say, hey, you really need this. It's cool. For example, iPod. An iPod is nothing but an MP3 player. There's so many MP3 players. But for some reason, everybody thinks having an Apple iPod is cool. Therefore, even